Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Medical Qigong practice this Saturday morning. My name is Mary Frances, and I'm one of Henry Gimali's Medical Qigong students. I'll probably repeat this a few times, but welcome new people. Welcome new people. If you are new, don't feel like you have to learn all of these exercises today. The more often you practice them, the more familiar they will become to you. And for Saturday's practice, it's a little different. We do our standard practice, or one of our standard practices, for the first 30 minutes. And then around about 8:45, we do a new exercise, or in this case, we're working on a rejuvenation series. And our exercise that we've been working on is Circles of Harmony. So we'll continue working with that. We're learning it in pieces. So we'll learn most of it, if not all of it, today. And then after that, around 9 a.m., because sometimes my timing gets a little mismanaged, around 9 a.m., we will do our seasonal exercises. Those are ground exercises, or seated exercises. And then after that, at 9:15 or somewhere around then, I would love to answer questions if you have any questions. So before I talk more, let's go ahead and start our warm-ups. I'm going to try to mirror you, so we're opening up to the left. The feet are going to be parallel, so the channels are open evenly in the front of the body and the back of the body. We're relaxing into the space. The tip of the tongue is touching the roof of the mouth. We're letting the bottoms of the feet melt into the earth. Softening the knees. Relaxing the low back, letting the tailbone drop a bit, creating some space in the lumbar spine. Relaxing the shoulders, allowing them to hang over the hips so they're not coming too far forward or being pushed back. And then we're letting the very top of the head reach up into the sky, maybe opening up a little bit. We're creating some space in the cervical spine. And then from here, we're going to start with our tapping, 3 to 4 finger breaths beneath the belly button with the right hand, so we can open up the left side of the body. We're tapping just enough to create a little bit of vibration. Anything that feels good to you. That's an important part of this practice. We never want to push through the pain. If anything is uncomfortable, please, please, please feel free to modify. We're coming up the midline. To underneath the clavicle. Underneath the arm. Down the side of the rib cage. Back on over to the midline. Up to the very top of the shoulder. Down the lateral aspect of the arm. Back of the hand. And the palm. Traveling up the inner aspect of the arm, back to the shoulder, letting that arm hang nice and loose. And then we're wiping out anything you don't need or want, letting it go back into the earth so that the earth can use it for its own nourishment. And then switching sides. Once again, the tip of the tongue is touching the roof of the mouth. We're inhaling and exhaling through the nose. We're repeating the same pattern on the other side, mirroring the first side. Allowing the mind's eye to connect with the area with which we're tapping. Opening up the tissues, opening up the channels, creating better or greater qi and blood flow. Now we're widening the stance by simply stepping out with the left. I'm repositioning myself so I'm more in frame. And then we're opening up the channels in the lower half of the body by tapping the inner thigh and up at the hip. Relaxing shoulders, elbows, wrists. Allowing the momentum to be the main impetus of the tapping. And transitioning, starting from the very top of the hip, traveling down the inner aspect of the legs towards just above the ankle or wherever it's comfortable for you. Then traveling to the lateral aspect of the leg, coming back on up towards the hips and the glutes. Once you get to the hips and the glutes, sliding that left foot a little closer to the right, maintaining that hip width, shoulder width distance. And then continuing up to the low back, just underneath the rib cage. Or once again, wherever it's comfortable for you, we never ever want to move into pain. So if your shoulders don't like this, feel free to just move lower or modify in whatever way works best for you. Placing the palms at the low back, circling down the sides and up the spine. Greeting the kidneys and the kidney energy. Resting the palms at the low back. Closing the eyes. Inhaling, guiding the breath and the chi through the nose, down to the palms at the low back. Exhaling, allowing the chi to flow freely to wherever it's needed within the body. Inhaling, guiding the breath and the chi to the kidney area and the low back, allowing it to fill up. Exhaling, allowing the energy to flow freely within the body to wherever it's needed. Inhaling and exhaling at your own pace, allowing the mind to relax into the breath, allowing the breath to relax the body. And allowing the chi to flow freely to wherever it's needed. And letting the arms come back down to the sides. Gently opening the eyes. And closing by bringing that left foot back to the right. Okay, we're working on the Rejuvenation series today. If you're new, don't feel like you have to learn all of these exercises today. They are here for you to learn over and over again, and we're always getting greater understanding of them as we practice. So, we're beginning. The first exercise in the Rejuvenation series is the Rave. Our opening is the same for all the exercises. The feet start together. We're inhaling. Exhaling. In. And out. Inhaling. And exhaling. or opening up to the left, hip width, shoulder width apart, a little wider is fine. I'm repositioning myself. Backs of the hands come together. Hands are diving between the ankles. Inhaling. And exhaling. In. And out. Now moving at your own pace. Using the breath to help guide the movements. Moving faster or slower. Getting ready to close. And closing, arms are out to the sides, bringing that left foot to the right. Both hands come together. Inhaling up to the breastbone. Exhaling. Inhaling all the way up. Exhaling down. Inhaling. Exhaling. In. And out. That was the modified breath version of the closing. We'll do the classical in the next exercise. The next exercise is the shaking exercise. Same opening. The shaking exercise has natural breathing. So we're opening up, hip width, shoulder width apart, a little wider is okay. Because the breathing is natural breathing, we're just breathing nice and slow and even. We're starting with some momentum at the knees. If you're familiar with this exercise, go ahead and close the eyes. And it's just like the name suggests, we're shaking. Trying to allow all the tissues in the body to relax. Allowing the musculature, the structure to move freely. Maybe the teeth are clacking a little bit. And as you become comfortable, you can go ahead and increase the speed. Allowing the vibration to be quick, whereas the breath is still slow and even. then to finish, we're going to take away some of that momentum from the knees. And allow ourselves to slowly come back to the center. And opening the eyes if they were closed, closing. Classically, we inhale all the way up. Exhaling back to the breastbone. Inhaling. Exhaling. In. And out. Our third exercise is infinity. Opening up, hip width, shoulder width apart, a little wider is fine. Turning the torso to the left, sinking at the knees. Inhaling and exhaling. Allowing the breath to inform the movement. Getting ready to close. And closing. And you get to do the closing that works best for you. Next we have Scoop the Moon. Scoop the Moon also has natural breathing. Opening up, hip width, shoulder width apart, a little wider is okay. Settling into the space. Making sure that all the fingertips of your beak are touching. Allowing the mind to relax into the exercise. And getting ready to close. Closing. Next, we have swimming in Qi. It's a three-parter. Maybe glance around you to make sure that you have some room. I may be adjusting myself accordingly. Part one, inhaling and exhaling. Getting ready for part two. We're inhaling, exhaling, in and out. Getting ready for part three. Standing, turning to the left. I'm going to do the modified version first. Inhaling and exhaling. The classical version. Remember, this is fun. We're playing with Qi, we're studying Qi, and we're also playing with Qi. Getting ready for the other side. The modified version first. And then the classical. And closing. Next, we have Swimming Dragon, our 6th exercise in this series. It's also a 3-parter. Inhaling and exhaling. Getting ready to transition to part 2. We're inhaling and exhaling. In, out, inhaling, exhaling, in, and out. Getting ready for part 3. Transitioning to part 3. We're inhaling and exhaling. Getting ready to close and closing. And that's 1 through 6 of Rejuvenation. So we're gonna keep the feet together so we can retain all that wonderful energy we've been cultivating over the past half hour. Bring the palms together, transferring a bit of that energy to the palms. And bringing the palms to the lower dantian, 3 to 4 finger breaths beneath the belly button. Closing the eyes. We're going to take a few moments here, inhaling, guiding the breath and the chi to the lower dantian, allowing it to fill up with energy. Exhaling, allowing that energy to settle and store. Inhaling, guiding the breath and the chi to the lower dantian, filling it up with energy. Exhaling, allowing that energy to settle and store so it is there for you for the rest of the day. Inhaling and exhaling at your own pace. Allowing the mind to relax into the breath. Allowing the breath to relax the body. And allowing the chi to settle and store so it is there for you for the rest of your day. Thank you so much, Qigong practitioners, for practicing with us this morning. All right, so now we're gonna work on circles of harmony. It's the 7th exercise in the Rejuvenation series. We've gone through about 2/3 or so of the exercise so far. So the first part is gonna be a review. If you haven't gone over this exercise before, you might wanna check back onto previous Saturdays where we've gone over the beginning elements of it. And for those of you who have already seen or already started with this exercise with us, I'm sorry I forgot to bring pudding, but pudding really isn't part of the following parts of the exercise as much. And pudding, because that might sound a little strange, is a big stuffed rabbit, not a real rabbit, stuffed animal, stuffed animal. And she helps demonstrate sometimes. All right, so here we go. Same opening. We're opening up, hip width shoulder width apart, a little wider may feel good for stability reasons. Settling into the space and mechanics for the first part go thusly. The arms come up, then the right hand comes underneath the left. We're carrying our chi ball first to the left, switching the hands, carrying our chi ball to the right, switching the hands. The arms travel through that horizontal plane. We're repositioning the feet. The palms are now facing the earth. We're going to pull back with the shoulder that's closest to the screen. So it's going to be the right shoulder, elbow, and then the palm is going to face forward as we push forward. Next, we have both. They're pulling from the shoulder or even the big spine point, pulling back, opening up the throat and the chest, sweeping the arms out to the sides. The palms are facing up now. And then we're going to do our little finger flare, our little finger fan. So as we pull back, the fingers are going to go pinky, ring, middle, index, thumb, rotating the wrists. And now the 4 fingers are touching and about the level of the bridge of the nose. You can see over, so you don't want to be hidden completely. You want to be able to see in front of you. And then we're simply going to do, we call it forward roll. It's not really forward roll, but we're hinging at the waist and then transferring our weight to the lead leg, rolling up. And now we get to continue on. That's what we've done so far. We're going to release the arms. The palms are open. We're gathering energy from the earth and then rolling those hands together again, circling down. Now we're going to let go and reach up, gathering energy from the sky or the heavens, coming down. And then we're going to do a double shoulder roll. and then a single shoulder roll, the shoulder furthest away from the screen. So in this case, it would be the left shoulder. And then we're going to go to the other side. So since we're going to the right hand's on top. We're going right, flipping the hands left, flipping the hands, coming through that horizontal plane. The palms are facing the earth. We're pulling back with a single shoulder roll, pushing forward, double shoulder roll, sweeping the arms out to the sides, palms are facing the sky, and then rotating the fingers, pinky, ring, middle, index, thumbs. The thumbs are on the outside of the fist, and the index fingers are touching. We're traveling, rolling forward and up, then gathering from the earth. Rotating the fingers and wrists again, rolling down and up. This time, taking energy from the sky and the heavens, coming down. And then it's a double shoulder roll. Single shoulder roll, so the one furthest from the screen, which would be the right shoulder. Sometimes I get confused with the mirroring. Left hand's on top now. Left, right, all the way to the left. Single shoulder roll. Double shoulder. Fingers, wrists, hands, rolling forward, reaching from the earth, rolling forward, reaching from the sky. And then we've got our double, single, which is the one furthest away from the screen. And then we're traveling to the right, left, all the way to the right, pulling back with the left, pulling back with both. Finger, wrists, hands, rolling forward from the earth. Fingers, wrists, hands, rolling forward from the sky. And then we've got our double, rear shoulder roll, which is the right, grasping our chi ball, and you guessed it, left, right, carrying all the way to the left, palms are facing the earth, pulling back, pushing forward, pulling back, scooping around, finger fan, rolling forward, scooping from the earth, finger fan, rolling forward, scooping from the sky, and double, single, right, left, all the way to the right, single, double, finger flare, rolling, earth, and sky, double, single, and we're going to close. So we're going to the left, to the right, to the left, and out, and closing. Okay, so we're gonna go over that exercise, that series, lots and lots. We're probably gonna do it again next week before we move on to the ground exercises. But some little details to think about. We're activating a lot of joints in this exercise. So first, obviously the shoulders. If you want, for fun, you can warm up the shoulders first by really thinking about the shoulder in that ball and socket joint, by bringing the shoulders forward, up, back, and down, and seeing how that feels, allowing the arms to really hang loose, almost as if there are weights tied to the wrists, not in an uncomfortable way and not in a massive, massive way, but just allowing the arms to hang loose, and then feeling that range of motion going backwards as well. So when you're feeling comfortable and confident with the exercise and your hands are together, like so, right at the, you can really enjoy this motion. Okay, we're not making a big motion with the arms, so it's not coming from the arms, but there might be a little motion from the shoulder joint and the scapula. And then obviously when we're pulling back, feeling that shoulder movement and then allowing it to generate the rest of the arm movement, and keeping the joints, especially the wrists, fairly relaxed so that they can allow that momentum and flow to really help with the movement. And then just a couple more things. The feet. So now you can see my feet. Sometimes when we're working on this, we get really excited and we start coming up off of that back heel. For this exercise, the back heel stays planted except when you're repositioning the feet. So when repositioning the feet, I'm lifting the left toes to point at that left wall or window or whatever it happens to be, tree if you're outside, and then I'm picking up the right heel and placing it down at a 45-degree angle or thereabouts. So once I've done that, though I'm rocking on this front heel quite a bit, the back heel stays firmly planted on the earth. You want that energy, that connection between the back heel and the earth, whereas the toes in the lead leg come up, and you've got this rocking motion. So you may want to even practice this rocking motion a little bit so that it feels comfortable to you. And then obviously the other side. There we go. Right? And practice that weight transference of the hips from lead leg to the rear. Okay? So things that you can play with in addition to the actual exercise. This exercise has natural breathing, so there is not a specific breathing pattern for it. So you breathe however it works best for you. Okay, so now we're gonna do the seasonal exercises, moving the iPad. This is a great time to get a sip of water, which is what I am definitely going to be doing. And I always seem to make this crooked. It's kind of resting on a cushion. So that's not the most stable way to do it. We're going to be sitting cross-legged, or whatever version works best for you. I say that phrase a lot, but that's because I mean it. What works best for me may not be what works best for you or your friend. So feel free to modify. Theoretically, we're sitting either full lotus, half lotus, or cross-legged. Either leg in front is fine. I'm sitting on a cushion because that helps elevate me a little bit and that protects my knees, because my knees need extra love. I'm sipping. Okay. We're elongating the spine. Tip of the tongue is still touching the roof of the mouth. The hands are going to come into baby fist. So this time, the thumbs are on the inside. The forefingers wrapping lightly around. Backs of the hands are coming to the thighs. We're closing the eyes. Allowing ourselves to come back into the moment. Coming into the space. Elongating the spine. Breathing in and out through the nose at your own pace. Allowing the mind to settle. Allowing the body to relax. And then we're opening the eyes. The fourth seasonal set in the fall seasonal exercises, the equinox series, we're taking the palms, placing them at the ears, creating a seal. And then inhaling as we turn the torso to the left. Exhaling. Staying in this position as we inhale. Exhale. In. Exhaling back to the center. Releasing the hands back to baby fists. Allowing ourselves to reset, regroup. Maybe checking in to see if one side feels differently than the other side. And then going to the right. Placing the palms at the ears to create that seal. Inhaling now, turning to the right. And exhaling. In. Out. Inhaling. And then exhaling back to the center. Okay, we're going to do 2 more times on each side. You get to go at whatever pace you want to. So if you want to move slower, you definitely can. If you want to move a little faster, you can as well. If you want, you can come to the center every time to regroup. Otherwise, you can go straight from one side to the next without the extra regrouping. I am going to, after I'm done with my series, I'm going to sit for a moment and give everyone a chance to catch up before then explaining the closing series for the seasonal exercises. Here we go. Okay, so while people are finishing up, I'm going to explain the closing exercises for the seasonal exercises. They're the same for all the seasonal exercises. Placing our hands one on top of the other, the palms are facing up. Traditionally, men place their left hand on top, women place their right hand on top. The thumbs are connected. They're resting in our lap. And then we're going to do our teeth pressing. So it's like a biting action. We're not gnashing the teeth. We're not grinding the teeth. It's simply a little biting action, connecting the top of the teeth with the bottom. Traditionally, men do this 36 times. Women traditionally do it 24. After that, we're going to take our tongues and circle them in our mouths 9 times clockwise and 9 times counterclockwise. After this, we're going to take all that wonderful, precious, precious saliva and swish it around in our mouth between the teeth 36 times for everyone. And then we're going to swallow that saliva in thirds, allowing each third to come down to the lower dantian, rest and settle, before then swallowing the next third and the final third. After that, simply close the eyes, and then using the mind's eye, the mind intent, gather all the wonderful qi that we've been cultivating over this past hour or so into the lower dantian, allowing it to gather, settle, and store, so it's there for you throughout the rest of the day. Okay. Here we go. Thank you so much, Qigong family.